Well, let's talk now live to Dr. Adriane Esquivel-Muelbert, an expert on forest ecology with a particular focus on the Amazon rainforest. Thank you so much for being here live on the programme. I suppose this must be confirmation of what you had feared, the hottest year ever.
Yeah, I'd like to repeat that the hottest year in record and 1.48 degrees, almost 1.5 degrees warmer than the long-term average. This is what we expected, for sure. We experienced 2023, but also it's shocking to me, to my colleagues, and I imagine to everyone listening to this news now, because it is what expected, but it's not the reality that we wanted. And I think it's important to highlight that 2023 was very hot and very dry because of the El Niño, but also it was very hot because of climate change. And we have enough evidence now to show that the El Niño in extreme events like the El Niño are more frequent and more severe because of climate change. And unfortunately, the predictions are that we will have these events more often and more severe events in the years to come.
Yes, that is exactly what the scientists have been saying. Now, I mentioned in the introduction your particular expertise on the Amazon. So just give us your assessment on the impact this is having on the rainforest.
We are having a record drought in the Amazon at this very moment. We have been seeing forest fires that are reaching thousands of square kilometers. And because of these fires, millions of people in cities like Manaus have not been able to breathe properly for a few months. We also had record dry in the rivers, and meaning that people could not go to hospitals, or communities have been isolated because of the high temperatures in the El Niño now. We also had thousands of fish that died and hundreds of river dolphins that died too, which means that these forests that are so important for mitigating climate change, they are our key allies to mitigate climate change. They might be now being pushed to a new scenario where they might not be able to help us. They might not provide the services that they are expected to provide. We've seen in 2015-16, we have data showing that the contributions of these forests to capture carbon shut down during the El Niño year. And now we are collecting data at this very moment to try to understand what's happening in 2023 and how these forests have been suffering from the El Niño year of 2023.
It's interesting you going through the impacts, because we know the fear has always been in terms of the impact and loss of rainforests, but it is already extending to human impacts and consequences as well, as you took us through.
It's a system that is it's together. So the humans are part of the forest. They live in this forest. We think about the Amazon as just forest without humans, but actually we have big cities like Manaus with 3 million people living there. So we have these systems that are integrated, and not just in the Amazon we will suffer. The Amazon forest suffering has consequences globally, meaning like the acceleration of climate change, for instance. So these systems are super important for us, not just for the people who are living there, who are suffering now, but also for the whole global population.
And presumably, if this is happening in the Amazon, it's also happening to other forests around the world with similar consequences.
We had fires in other places, for instance, the Canadian fires. We are seeing this El Niño had impacts across the whole globe. Had also flooding happening in the south of Brazil, and in many other regions we saw more storms, more hurricanes. So it is a year that it's marking us, the change from predictions to observations and living climate change. We are now facing this reality, and it's affecting everyone, and we continue to affect everyone.
And just briefly, because we heard the Secretary General say we are now, exactly as you said, we're now living climate change. We're not talking about something in the future. Is it clear to you what the actual actions that are required to perhaps rein this in?
So some of the actions we'll be talking about for a long time continue in place. We need to stop emissions of greenhouse gases as individuals, as societies, as organizations, as governments. We have to do that. But we also have to adapt to this new reality. And we need to support communities that are more vulnerable, the places who are more vulnerable. We need, as a global community, to make sure that everyone is supported, because otherwise the system will not resist. We need to work now systemically as one global community.
Doctor, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us here on the programme. Thank you.